I interviewed Mrs. Poole. I just get you to say hello or something.
You want me to say something?
That's perfect. That's all you need. Today is November 6, 1987. My name is Rebecca Sharpless, and I'm interviewing for the first time Mrs. Pauline Martin, better known as Paupee. The interview is taking place in Mrs. Martin's office in Rockefeller Hall, the cashier's office at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's part of a project that I'm working on women office workers and changes in technology in the office. Mrs. Martin, thank you so much for letting me come out today.
You're quite welcome.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule.
I don't mind it at all.
To see me. I'd like to start out just real generally today by asking you to tell me your full name.
My full name is Pauline Abbott Martin.
How did you get the nickname of Paupee?
When I was a youngster, I'll say about 6 years old, I was a babysitter for one of my friend's little girls. And she couldn't say Pauline, so she used to say Paupee. And everyone started calling me Paupee from then on, and it's carried on through the years.
I see.
And so I get Paupee really more than I get Pauline, but of course officially I get Pauline because I want to get my paycheck.
But it's Paupee with the accent on the second syllable.
Right. Yes.
Okay. How long have you been at Spelman?
I have been at Spelman since March 1959, and that's 28 years as of now, and in March it will be 29 years.
Okay, how was it that you came to work at Spelman?
I came to Atlanta with my husband. He is from here, and we were in the Air Force. And when he got out of the service, we didn't know exactly where we were going to live. So he's from down here. As a matter of fact, he's from Alabama, but he had a sister who lived here. And she encouraged him to come this way. One time we started to settle in Syracuse, New York, up that way. But then again, we thought it over and said, well, maybe we will go to Atlanta. And that's the reason I am here. So then I knew Dr. Manning, the president of Spelman. He hadn't been here too long. So I wanted to see him because we've been knowing each other for years. He was my high school principal in North Carolina.
Where in North Carolina?
Asheville, North Carolina. So I made arrangements to come to see him. And we had a long talk, and he had to know all about me from when I was in high school, all through school, and what have you. So I told him. And
you need to stop for a second?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to tell Dr. Manning all about my working experience and everything since I left high school, which took quite a while. But we finally finished. Then he said, are you looking for a job? I said, well, I had a young baby at that time, too. So I said, well, I hadn't planned to work right now, but I was going to look for one probably in the, after Christmas, because this was in the fall of the year. He said, well, if you're interested, we have one open here that I know you can do. I said, what is that? He said, we have a bookkeeping job. I said, oh, Dr. Manning, you know I don't know anything about bookkeeping. He said, I believe you can do this job. So I told him that I would discuss it with my husband and let him know. And he said, all right. So I did, and that's the way I became employed at Spelman. I came on back, and they employed me. And I started out as a bookkeeper. At that time, we just had a ledger that we kept on the students. We only had 400 students at that time. And I believe that I knew every student on the campus at that time. So I had my boss, as I called him, Mr. Cole. He was my boss. And we had another lady in here who was the cashier.
Were you in the cashier's department?
Yeah, I was right in here, right in the space here. I didn't have the desk, no I was right here. And so anyway, I kept that job, the bookkeeper's job, for about, I'll say that summer, because Mrs. Brooks had been trying to get employed in the college for quite a number of years, and they eventually hired her. So they asked me would I like the cashier's job. I said, the cashier's job? They said, yes. I said, you think I can do the cashier's job? Said, yes, I believe you can do it. I said, okay, I'll try it. So that's the way I became cashier at Spelman College. And after that, of course, they hired a bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So until 60, I'll say about, I was 59, I'll say about, it was 65, between 65 and 67, things started to change. Because I know we had just started thinking about the computer when Mr. Cole left, and he left in 67. Therefore, we had to have more employees in this office. Mm-hmm. And we eventually ended up, we had 3 then, we eventually have, like we have now, we have about 22 employed here. And of course, all through the years, I enjoyed being at Spelman. I've enjoyed my job all these years. Else, like I tell a lot of people, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't enjoyed it. I would be somewhere else. And I've made a lot of friends at Spelman, both old and new. And I like the activities. I don't get to attend as many as I used to because of the work line. And but those that I do attend, I enjoy. And I participate in different activities like commencement and the Christmas Carol concert, those kind of things. I've always been an usher, helped to usher. And a number of entertainment activities. Now, what else you want?
I want to back up a little bit.
Yeah, you can back up.
What did you know about bookkeeping when you took the bookkeeper's job?
What did I know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always did. It was pretty good in my math. I figured since I was good in my math that I wouldn't have any trouble doing bookkeeping. And I had also had some business training too. So it wasn't hard.
You said you had a ledger. Did you keep the books? This is going to sound really dumb. Did you keep the books in pencil or pen or?
I kept them in a ballpoint pen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have an adding machine?
Yes. Let's see, what kind of adding machine did I have? I had to have an adding machine because I was getting out. I didn't stay in bookkeeping long.
Right.
And I had to have an adding machine because I was getting out deposits. Yeah, I had an old antique adding machine and an antique desk, chair, all of that stuff. But we made this office look pretty nice. We didn't have any petitions in just one great big place, because that wasn't there. None of that. These are 2 offices now.
When you say it was an antique adding machine, was it electric?
No. Mm-mm.
How did they work? That's kind of.
It's been so long, yeah. They had to pull it down, I think. Yeah, I think so. I believe I pulled it down. I don't think it was electric. It's been so long, I've forgotten.
Well, when you became cashier, then what was your understanding of the cashier's job? What were you supposed to do?
Well, one thing, I had a lot of, I knew that I handled all the money that comes into Spelman College. I knew that. And I knew I had daily deposits to make, and all the deposits that come from other branches of the college. I had to be sure that they were right, and it was just a matter of handling the money in all respects.
Mm-hmm. So you were kind of like the accounts receivable?
Yes. And in the summer, see, we didn't have it. So, and when we didn't have so many people in this office, when Mr. Cole would go away during the summer, I did everything. I did all the checks for people, everything pertaining to this office.
What do you mean all the checks for people?
I mean, salary checks,
You did payroll?
student checks, yes. I did it all. I won't tell them I did it, though. I did it. They had me doing some of it.
What was the hardest part about the cashier's shop then?
Well, really, I didn't find anything too wrong with it. I really didn't after I learned it. And you know, most jobs, as of now, I have even heard people say they have to teach themselves on a job. And I agree with that. And you do. You get the basics, and that's about all. But all these other little things, you do it yourself. That's what I had to do. And I didn't find it too difficult doing it. I find when you know your work, it's not hard. It's just when you don't know it. Don't care how simple it is, that's when it's hard.
Okay, you said about the time Mr. Cole left that you started adding a computer or thinking about computer?
Yes, the computer we started using the computer, they started getting the data together about that time in '67. And that was that computer, I beg your pardon, that was not the computer, that was the key punch operating machine. I'm getting them mixed up. That was the key punch, because we have only had our computer about going into 4 years. That's right. It was the key punch. We started that in the beginning.
How did the key punch work?
Well, it worked similar to, if I recall, it worked similar to a typewriter. You know, you had to know your keyboard, and that's just about it. If you knew your keyboard, you could put anything in it that you wanted to, as long as you had the guide to go by.
What did you use it for here in the cashier's office? I mean, what kind of tasks?
Well, we had different, I used it for payroll. That's what I used it for. Ooh, you make me go way back. I hadn't thought about that in years.
Well, I'm just curious, how did it work? I mean,
yes, I know what you're doing, but I hadn't thought about it in years, and I've almost forgotten how it worked. But I used it for the payroll.
Did you
put in their name. Yes, and all the little insignias and all that kind of stuff you had to know. That's what I did.
And then how did it print the paychecks, or how did that work?
No, I only printed the card. Then we sent if I recall correctly, we sent the cards to the bank. They made the paychecks. Yeah, for the faculty and staff. Now for the maintenance people, we made the checks here. And I would order the money and pay them off. They had to endorse their checks. And I had all their money in their envelope. And all I would do was cash their check and count their money out to them and give them the envelope.
Because they wanted cash?
Yes. Well, they'd have a hard time at that time. They don't do it like that now, of course. But that was just more of a privilege that Spelman allowed them. We make the checks, they come and endorse, and we give them the money. And I also was held up in here in '64 because, see, all of this wasn't here. We weren't closed in. We had a counter coming out there, and that was still there, but no window. We had a counter coming out near the light over there. It came out, and then the door opened, and then the counter went all the way back. And we just had a little flip door that we went in and out of. And they came in here on me on a payday. And I had to give them so many thousands. I had to open that safe. Isn't that something? That same safe, yes. That was really frightening. I don't think I could be able to take it now like I did then. I took it very well then, but I don't think I'd be able to stand it now.
Well, that's very frightening.
Yeah, see, that Brinks had just delivered the money for the payroll, and they knew it. And that entailed a whole lot of unpleasant activities that I had to go through.
Did they ever catch you?
Yeah, they caught the one. They caught the one who was more or less the lookout. And sent him. He served 3 years, 3 to 5 years in prison. And the others, there were 2 of them in here, and one in a car. And they all went to California on that money. So one came back. Come to find out he hadn't been out of prison about 2 months. But they sent him up. We had to go to court and everything. So that wasn't too pleasant. So after that, that's when they started using more security. We didn't even have security then. I guess they didn't have it anywhere then. I guess they felt like that they just didn't need it at that time. But after that, they put more security on campus. What have you.
Before you went to the key punch system, how did you do payroll?
Before I went to the key punch system,
did you write the checks by hand?
No, when I went to the key punch system, that's when I've forgotten what we did then. I think they were written by hand. I only did them when Mr. Cole was away in the summer, but they were written by hand, if I remember correctly. I'm just saying if I remember correctly, because it's been a long time.
Was the key punch system, how much was it an improvement?
Oh, it was a great improvement over the original system. Improved greatly. In fact, this whole office has improved. I find my work easier now than I did then. It wasn't too hard then, but I find it easier now because, see, I have assistants, and I have one assistant, and I have one work study. I used to have 2 work studies, but I figured that I didn't need but one because too much money flowing through, and I could keep up with it better with just one student. And that's what I have now.
How long did you keep the key punch system?
Well, we kept the key punch system until about 3 or 4 years ago. But I wasn't doing it. We had a regular key punch operator. When the computers came in, they did away with the key punch system in here.
How did you receive the news that you were going to be put on a computer?
They just told us. I didn't receive any formal statement or letter or anything like that. They just came and told us, and we all gathered around the first computer.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was, well, we always sort of puzzled because I had never been around a computer before. And I was wondering how it was going to work. But after I learned it, I found that I love it. Like it very much.
What do you use it for?
I use it for student account payments.
To see if they pay
That's right. I take in all the money. And all the outgoing money is over on the other side. So that's what I do. I take all the student accounts money.
Do you do billing here?
No, the billing is done in student accounts, which is right above me.
So you just get the money from the students?
I take it all in and computerize it. And also, all the monies come through me, even on miscellaneous. And we use that little thing. We've had those for years, that little machine. We use that for miscellaneous. Got a lot of student payments, such as fees, like bowling fees and things like that, are put on there. Not exactly bowling fees, because I haven't had a bowling fee in a good while. I think they do that another way now. And they don't even charge them. I think that is put on the student account report. So, but all the other miscellaneous go on there. And I have to keep track of them. I have a file on all that stuff.
Do you have a file for each student?
No, that's upstairs in student accounts.
I see. So you come in and...
And that's right. Anything pertaining to a student, even though it's on the miscellaneous, I put it in the student account tray, because the pink copy can go in their files, show what they have done and what they have paid.
How did the computer change the setting of the office here? You said that you didn't have partitions when you first started.
Well, it didn't change too much. Only they built that window, and naturally closed the door. And then when they set up accounts payable, which is on the other side, they put the partition because they separated us. And of course, I have new files because I had to, because computer receipts are wide, and I set them up in those files right there. Would you like to see them?
I'll see them maybe after we finish.
Okay.
Are those the suspended kind of
Yes,
files?
And I guess that's just about it.
So it didn't change the office very much?
No, it didn't change
layout?
no layout. Not too much at all.
How were you trained on the computer?
How was I trained? Well, I was told what the format would be, the program, and I made notes. I make notes when I'm in training of every little thing till I learn it, and that's the way I was trained. More or less trained myself.
How did you feel about that?
About the computer?
About training yourself?
Oh, I didn't mind because I feel like I could learn better.
You're one of those people that learns better on your own?
Yes. Certain things.
What about other people here in the office? How did they react to it?
What about the computer? Nobody runs my computer but my assistant. She's in the other office there. And myself. And she knows how to do it too. We both know it. Were you under any kind of stress in learning it, or no? I try not to let things bother me like that too much. If I didn't know something, I'd ask. And if they didn't know, I'd call computer center.
So there was somebody around here?
Oh yeah, computer center. Yes, we have a computer center. We can call if we get hung up or something we can't get out. I call computer center. They'll tell me exactly what to do.
Let's see. How many hours a day do you think you spend in front of the screen?
Well, not too many. I mean, enough. I mean, I'm open from 10 to 12 and then from 2 to 4 hours. Half of.
So half your day. Have you noticed any problems with that?
No, not at all. I try to get along with the students. And so far I do, but sometimes you do find one who's trying to be grown-up than you. And you have to sort of get them straightened out in a nice way. And then we become friends. I've had about 4 of them. No, that's not too many in all these years, but I have had about 4 of them. That we ended up when she was a senior. I said, you remember how bad you used to be? She said, oh, Miss Martin. I said, yes, you did, but we're best of friends now. But other than that, I'm all right. I try to do. I wouldn't be able to keep this job if I didn't know how to get along with people. Because I deal with a lot.
And the machinery?
Yes.
You get along with the machinery?
Yeah. Oh, the machinery. Oh, yes. They don't bother me.
It's interesting. Now, Spelman got a new telephone system 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Did that have any effect on your work?
No. I learned it.
How well do you like it?
I like it all right. I don't have to use all that too often, but if I did, I'd know how.
Let me take a second and turn the tape over.
Okay.
On November the 6th, 1987, how much do you use things like a Xerox machine in your work?
How much do I use it? Oh, quite. I use it every day. I have to make copies of certain checks and documents, and if I do any correspondence, I keep a record of everything that I send out, and that's just about the length of it. But I use it every day, and I like it.
What did you do before you had the Xerox machine?
We use carbon paper.
How was that?
I like this better.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right then because we didn't have any Xerox machines.
You didn't know better?
Hmm?
You didn't know there was anything better?
No, that's right. Yes, you're about right. You did not.
Well, we talked a little bit about the computer, and we haven't talked really about the typewriter. How much typing do you do?
Well, I use it for my deposits every day. Of course, that's nothing but numbers, money. And then I have correspondence I have to write on different things which will come up about checks and students that I have to handle. And I don't do too much correspondence when I do it. I guess I do, I don't know how much a month I do, but I do use it.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the length of that.
When you first started, over the years, has the amount of typing you've done increased or decreased?
Stays about the same. Mm-hmm.
How much change has there been in the typing that you do? You use different typewriters?
Yes, the other one, it was one of those manual typewriters, and that's a little harder, than an electric. But I didn't have any trouble learning the electric one. It's just real fast and nice. So it has improved greatly, yes. Mm-hmm.
How do you do corrections on that typewriter?
We just use this whiteout.
Good old liquid paper.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What's your day like? What do you do? You work from 8 to 5? 9 to 5?
No, 9 to 5.
Uh-huh.
And we have my lunch hours at 12, from 12 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
And well, my day is where we have lunch, and usually when I stay mostly in here. But when I bring my lunch, but when I want to go out, I go out on my lunch hour, attend the business and what have you. And that's just about it here.
What's the routine like, though? What do you do first thing in the morning?
Oh, the first thing in the morning, I open my safe when I come in. I open the safe and pull all the work out that we have, the baskets and what have you. And then I proceed to do my deposit. See, I don't open until 10. And if my deposit isn't done by 10, then Phoebe comes in and takes over the window because Shay goes up at 10. And if there's no one there, I will call her when it's time. I can either call on the phone or just say, Phoebe, come, something like that. And that's just about it until 12. Then I pull my...
You spend most of your time at the window?
Yes, off and on. Yes. And in the afternoon, I'm up there pretty much. I mean, there are certain days there are more payments than others. Just like yesterday, I had a huge deposit. And that deposit was from the day before yesterday, which was a busy day because I had on $62,000 to go out. Just student payments. And now today I've done it and I only had 18. You see, it really changes.
What are the heaviest times?
Well, the heaviest times are right before exams. And that would be the end of this month, November, first part of December. Because everything has to be paid up before they take the exams.
Sure. Okay, then what do you do from 1 to 2?
From 1 to 2, I usually am at the window, and then I have a petty cash fund that I handle. And I have to, people are running in to see me all the time about certain, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you were saying...
What was I saying?
12 to 1, you're at the window. I mean 1 to 2.
Yeah. From 2 to 4.
What do you do from 1 to 2?
Well, all my little miscellaneous things I have to do. You know, I have to send checks back to the bank, and I go through my loans. I have to update the loan list. A number of things I have to do. Do my petty cash vouchers. A lot of things I have to do in that hour, if I choose to do them at that time.
What do you do when a check bounces?
Oh, we try not to let that happen, but a check bounces. I keep a ledger. And usually my student helper does that. She keeps a ledger on those checks. And all the student accounts checks which bounce, they are transferred, they are charged back to student accounts. And Don does that when they first come in because he sees them first. Then all the others we record in the ledger. Then we send letters to them for payments. Cashier's check, money order, or either they can come in and pay cash for this check. And that's the way that operates.
So from 2 to 4 you're at the window.
That's right.
From 4 to 5?
From 4 to 5. Well, 4 to 5, usually when I'm not real busy, I get my office ready to go home. But I'm always doing something. That doesn't sound too good, but usually we're busy.
No, I understand.
Yes, because I'm tired then.
Yes. How tiring is it being at the window?
Well, I find I'm very tired at the end of the day, but I try not to let it bother me too much, but I'm tired at the end of the day. Because when you jump up and down all day long and tending this and tending, I'm not only bothered with the students. I mean, teachers and staff members and maintenance people. Everybody bothers me.
Everybody wants to cash checks.
Yes, not cash checks. I don't cash checks.
No?
It's different, just different things. I'm a notary too, and I have to notarize things for them. For the college, I have a lot of little things I have to do. I know I'm not thinking of half of them now, but I do have them to do.
Well, by way of summary, what would you say the biggest changes have been in the years that you've been here at Spelman?
Well, the biggest change has been the enrollment. And that makes a change in the entire workforce. So that's what I would say, because that makes a difference in everything. The enrollment. It's gone from 400 to 1,700. It's a big change, isn't it?
Yes, it is. More than 4 times the size.
Yes.
You said that this department has gone to 22 employees?
Yes, around 22. The last time I heard, we may have more, I don't know. But I know we have 22 in the whole department.
What's the name of the department? Is it like financial services?
Yes, this is Business and Financial Affairs office.
So that cashiers and...
The cashier is just one office within this store. Yeah.
What are the other offices?
Oh, accounts payable. And so many, I don't even know. Just a minute. I don't even know all this.
Okay.
I don't know all these offices.
Student accounts.
That's right. Payroll. Payroll, research, what is that downstairs? Used to be auxiliary services, but it's something else now. I'll show it to you. They had them all outlined in here.
That's okay.
Well, we named them. We named them. we've been, yes.
Everything at Spelman has grown a lot.
Yes, yes, very much so.
What would you say that the positive effects of the technology change have been?
What now?
The positive effects of the technology change.
Let me see. Positive sense of the technology change.
Do you think it's been mostly good or mostly bad?
Well, it's been good. It's been good, very good.
Why?
Because anything that grows and progresses is supposed to be better than it was before. How's that sound?
It sounds okay to me. Has it made your work easier?
Yes, made my work much easier.
Why do you think why has it been easier?
Because we have all these machines, the machinery aspects of it. Wherein we used to have to do everything by hand.
That does a lot of work for you.
Yes.
What do you do when the computer goes down?
Well, usually we can't do a thing but wait. We try to get it back up, but if the computer center tells us how long it's going to be down, we just have to wait for it. There's nothing else we can do. And that throws our work behind, but we usually catch up with it.
Is that a big problem then?
No, it doesn't go down often. Every once in a while it will, but not often.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
To add? I think we just about covered everything. I have to look at this and see. You can look at it and see what all the fees I handle.
Maybe I can get a job description, a copy of your job description.
Okay, that'd be fine.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
I would appreciate that.
All right, I'll give you a job. I have to change this to, let me call it on sales. That's 45 million. At this time, it's just 7.
Okay, well.
I bet you've had fun interviewing all these different people on campus.
I have. I've learned a lot. I want to put it on tape that I just say thank you very much for your time.
Okay, that'd be very nice.
Okay.